Imagine a tiny nation where every citizen lived like a millionaire. No need to work, just enjoying a life of luxury. Wow, sounds like fiction, right? But this is the true story of Nauru 50 years ago, an island nation that was once among the world's wealthiest places, before suddenly plunging into crisis and becoming one of the planet's poorest countries. Hey friends, today I'll take you on a journey to explore the dramatic story of the rise and fall of Nauru, an island nation that no one thought would fall into poverty, but it did. In this video, you'll discover the story of how phosphate resources propelled Nauru to the heights of wealth, the major mistakes that led this nation into crisis, the current life of Nauru's people, with their controversial choices and solutions, and finally, a surprising secret that few people know about this island. Let's begin this incredible journey of discovery together. A magical journey from unknown island to millionaire's paradise. Have you ever dreamed of a place where money flows like water, where everyone lives in pure luxury? In the vast Pacific Ocean, there's a tiny island that once turned this dream into reality. That's Nauru, a name that might be unfamiliar to many but holds a fascinating tale of prosperity. The 1960s and 1970s witnessed one of the greatest economic miracles in world history. Would you believe that a tiny island could rise to become one of the wealthiest nations on Earth? The secret lay in the treasure of phosphate hidden deep within the earth, a precious mineral that wasn't just crucial for fertilizer production, but was also the white gold of many modern industries. And then, like a modern fairy tale, Nauru became the boss of the global phosphate market. But what truly amazed the world wasn't the statistics, it was the magical life of its people. They lived as if money had no meaning. Each month, every citizen received enormous payments from phosphate mining. Luxury villas, expensive supercars, world tours, everything was within reach for an ordinary Nauru citizen. But here's what makes this story really interesting. Can you guess what happened next? How could a paradise of wealth vanish like a dream? And could this be an expensive lesson about how money doesn't always bring happiness? The collapse from paradise to hell overnight. Hey, do you know what's scarier than losing everything overnight? That's the story of Nauru, where wealth blinded them to the dark future ahead. Imagine a country lost in luxurious parties, where money flowed like water. But behind all that glitter lay a bitter truth. We thought phosphate would never run out, a former Nauru official admits with regret. This wasn't just a wrong assumption. It was the beginning of a national tragedy. While other nations were building foundations for their future, Nauru chose the short-term path. Instead of investing in education to develop human resources, developing tourism to utilize natural beauty, or building sustainable industries, they kept splurging on luxury. And then, the unthinkable happened. The phosphate mines, thought to be endless, started running dry. But that was just the beginning of the nightmare. In panic, the Nauru government made even worse decisions. They poured millions into risky investments, notably a skyscraper in Melbourne, a financial gamble that ended in disaster. Corruption ran rampant, management was poor, and then everything collapsed like a house of cards. We woke up one day and realized we had nothing left, a Nauru citizen recalls emotionally. From luxurious parties, we suddenly faced unemployment and poverty. None of us ever thought this could happen. Life today, when survival demands tough choices. Hey, have you ever wondered what happens when a nation must choose between dignity and survival? That's the heartbreaking reality Nauru faces today. Looking from above, Nauru now paints a grim picture. Massive holes, legacies of phosphate mining, cover nearly 80% of the island. The land is barren, impossible to farm. The unemployment rate has skyrocketed to 90%. In this desperate situation, they found a way out, but wow, it's quite controversial. In 2001, an agreement was signed. Nauru would become Australia's offshore refugee processing center. In return, they receive hundreds of millions of dollars in aid each year. This deal saved the tiny nation from complete bankruptcy. But here's the thing. The price they're paying isn't small. International human rights organizations keep speaking up about the poor living conditions in refugee camps. Reports show deteriorating mental health among refugees. Meanwhile, locals face deep social changes. Our island isn't the same anymore, a longtime resident shares with a worried voice. Guess what's the big question now? Can Nauru find another path? Some suggest developing ecotourism, investing in renewable energy, or even building an offshore financial center. But hey, each solution faces its own challenges: lack of investment capital, poor infrastructure, and limited human resources. Shocking facts when Nauru stands at a crossroads. While the world thinks Nauru has completely collapsed, a new wind is quietly blowing through this tiny island. What's happening behind those silent walls? Surprisingly, Nauru is going through a quiet, green revolution. From the wasteland left by phosphate mining, people are transforming them into solar farms. We're no longer betting on just one resource. A young engineer here shares with hopeful eyes. Each solar panel is a step further away from our past mistakes. But that's not all. Ecotourism projects are taking shape. The phosphate cliffs, instead of being symbols of destruction, are being transformed into unique tourist attractions. We've learned an expensive lesson: the government official's size. Now, every decision must aim towards a sustainable future. But perhaps the deepest lesson from Nauru's story isn't in the numbers or projects. It's the truth that wealth isn't a guaranteed ticket to the future. Just like a young heir inheriting a massive fortune, if you don't know how to manage and invest wisely, everything can vanish in the blink of an eye. Now Nauru stands at a crucial crossroads. On one side lies the familiar path, continuing to rely on refugee centers with stable but controversial income. On the other side is a challenging yet promising journey, building a diverse and sustainable economy. Looking at the bigger picture, Nauru isn't just a story about a tiny island nation. It's a mirror reflecting how we, both individuals and nations, face prosperity and adversity. From the heights of glory to the depths of crisis, Nauru's journey reminds us that success isn't a destination, but how we maintain and grow it. So, what do you think? If you had the chance to help rebuild Nauru, which path would you choose? Share your thoughts in the comments. Every perspective could bring new ideas for this island's future. Hey, if Nauru's story has left you with deep reflections, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Every small action helps spread these valuable lessons to more people. See you in our next video, where we'll explore more fascinating stories about countries around the world. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any upcoming content.